Zohar Yomi. This is the daily reading of the Zohar, passages of the Zohar found in the weekly Parsha. This week's Parsha is Vayigash. This comes from the Zohar. Parshas Vayigash is found in the Zohar on page 206b, and we'll continue on to 207a. Rabbi Judah and Rabbi Josi once met together in Kfar Hanan. And whilst they were sitting in the inn, there entered a certain man who had come with a laden donkey. Rabbi Judah was then saying to Rabbi Josi, "Tradition tells us that King David used to sleep fitfully like a horse. If so, how did David sleep till midnight and not wake up when a third of the night was past?" Rabbi Josi replied, "When nighttime arrived, David used to be sitting with the princes of his household, dispensing justice and discussing Torah, and afterwards he slept until midnight, when he would arise and remain awake, absorbed in the service of his master, singing songs of praise and hymns." Continuing on now to page 207a. The stranger here interposed, saying, "Is your exposition correct?" "Hardly. The real truth of the matter is this. King David lives forever and ever. All his days he was on his guard so as not to have a foretaste of death, and therefore David, whose place is living, only slept 60 breaths at a time. For up to the 59th breath, the sleeper is still completely alive, but from that point he has a foretaste of death, and the spirit of impurity obtains power over him. King David therefore guarded himself so that the side of the unclean spirit should not obtain dominion over him. For the first 60 breathings less one are symbolic of heavenly life, of sublime breathings on high, on which life proper depends. They represent the mystery of life, but beyond that number, they are associated with death. Hence, King David measured out the night so as to remain in life and to prevent any foretaste of death coming over him. At midnight, he was in his place, as he was anxious that at the arrival of midnight, when the holy crown is awakened, he should not be found attached to another place, the place of death. For at midnight, when the supernal holiness is awakened, the man who remains asleep in his bed, without regarding the glory of his master, falls under the spell of death and is attached to the other place. David thus rose up to contemplate continually the glory of his master, who was a living one like himself, and so never slept long enough to have a foretaste of death. Only slept like a horse 60 breaths at a time. Rabbi Judah and Rabbi Josi came up to him and kissed him. They asked him his name. He said, "Hezekiah." They said, "May you be strong, and may your knowledge of the Torah augment." When they sat down again, Rabbi Judah said to the man, having made a start, "Tell us more of the sublime mystical doctrines you alluded to." The stranger then began to discourse on the verse, "The Lord by wisdom founded the earth, by understanding he established the heavens." Proverbs 3:19. When God, he said, created the world, he saw that it could not exist without the Torah, as this is the only source of all laws above and below, and on it alone are the upper and lower beings established. Hence, the Lord by wisdom founded the earth, by understanding he established the heavens, inasmuch as it is through wisdom that all things are enabled to exist in the universe, and from it all things proceed. An alternative exposition is as follows. The Lord by wisdom founded the earth, that is, the upper world has been created through the higher wisdom, and the lower world through the lower wisdom, so that all things came into being out of the higher wisdom and the lower wisdom. By understanding, he established the heavens. Literally, he establishes, konen, to wit, day by day without ceasing. They were not made complete at once, but he continues perfecting them each day. This is alluded to in the verse, "Yea, the heavens are not clean in his sight." Job 15:15. Think not that this verse implies any disparagement of the heavens. On the contrary, its purpose is to indicate their importance and the great love and affection in which God holds them, in that, notwithstanding that he is perfecting them every day, they are not yet deemed in his eyes to have reached the utmost perfection of which they are capable. In his great affection for them, it is his delight to irradiate them continually and without ceasing, the world to come radiating day by day bright streams of light in order to make the heavens resplendent. Hence the heavens, pure as they are, in God's sight are not yet pure. Again, the heavens here symbolize the patriarchs, and the patriarchs find their center in Jacob, who embraces them all, he being the choice of the patriarchs and the one who causes light to radiate into the world. And after he was raised to the next world, there issued from him a branch, beauteous in appearance, from which radiate all illumination and all plenteousness. That branch is Joseph the righteous, who gave the world abundance and by whom it was sustained. Thus, whatever God does in the world has a deep symbolic significance and is all as it should be. At this point, Rabbi Elazar entered. As soon as he saw them, he said, "Assuredly, the Shekinah is here present. What have you been discussing?" And this concludes page 207a. So we'll stop here.